Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. The question of the day is, what was the first cryptocurrency that you ever purchased? And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The optimism remains strong within the cryptocurrency space. If you haven't been paying attenzione, as we continue to move further and closer to the halving, people are actively throwing out a wide range of predictions as to where they see the cryptocurrency market going. And this directly follows Bitcoin moving past $50,000. A lot of people have kind of said that that is the level that we've been waiting for, that's kind of the turning door moment for the rest of the market and showing exactly how high that we are going to go. It says, while Bitcoin delighted its investors by exceeding 50,000 US dollars. It increased risk appetite and raised brand new all-time high expectations. While some analysts said that the $50,000 was the local peak and predicted a decline, some analysts have shared that they expected a further rise in Bitcoin, and boy howdy. One of those who expected an increase was the analyst Tor Demeester, also someone who was the other guy? It wasn't Pompliano. Was it Pompliano? Maybe it was Pompliano. Someone who we've heard from recently, who we used to hear from all the time. Tor Demeester is the exact same. Tuurdemeester. Tor Demeester, who successfully predicted where Bitcoin was going to land in 2021. Tor Demeester, one of Bitcoin's early supporters, said that he believes that Bitcoin by the year 2026, that is to say, the course of this year, next year, and by 2026, he believes it will be $600,000 per coin. Yes, he's now the second person to say this. I believe the first person was the current head of Blockstream. This now gives us another gigantic price prediction for Bitcoin, as the other ones swing anywhere between 200K and now once again $600,000 over the course of the next few years. The analyst said that the Bitcoin halving, which is expected to take place in April, the ETF approvals and the rescue measures around the banking crises will be effective in this rise, he said, and I do quote, I expect Bitcoin to rise. That's a crazy number, dude. He said, I expect Bitcoin to rise to $600,000 by 2026. I think that the Bitcoin halving in April and the newly launched Bitcoin spot ETFs will be effective in this rise. We are optimistic about the price increase in Bitcoin due to the halving and ETF approvals. Additionally, global rescue and incentive packages announced after a possible banking crisis may also have an impact on the rise, end quote. Actually, it continues. It says Bitcoin rose to 50K in less than a month. There we go. I expect retail investors to wake up and Bitcoin purchases to increase. And then he says, remember, there is no fire like Bitcoin fire. Is that a hip hop comparison to something? Anyway, the point is, for those of you who also haven't been actively paying attention, I get it. Once again, there's like 9 quadrillion things always happening within the world. A lot of banks and a lot of governments aren't doing too well. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, but now it looks like a little intense. The China real estate crisis that's going on, the indications that we've gotten from a couple of countries that they're also going to start lowering their interest rates and also turning back on the money printer because the economies that they were trying to, how do I say this? They were all trying to get inflation under control, and in doing so, by a couple of percent, they actually ended up destroying a huge part of their economies. And they're basically going to have to start quantitative easingly printing money all over again to boost back up the economy. But the last time that we saw that was good old 2020 and 2021. And then that also helped cryptocurrency prices to rise as well as the stock market, as everyone was completely terrified and did not know where to throw their money. There's also been a couple of smaller banks in the news in the last couple of weeks that have been failing, haven't been doing too well. It's not that the news has been hush-hush so much as they're smaller banks and people have kind of tried to downplay them. But usually smaller banks end up being the first ones to, I don't want to use the word implode, but they usually tend to not do well first and then everything else tends to follow behind them. Yeah. We'll see, question mark, if we end up getting to $600,000 is a little insane. So I personally believe that we will eventually get there, but 600K in 18 months, 20 months is really intense to kind of think about. But I mean, we've seen crazier things happen before and we've gone over all the numbers. I don't have time to go over them again, but we've gone over those videos English. We've gone over the numbers in the last couple of videos as far as accumulation wise, how much Bitcoin is being accumulated by these larger companies over the course of a 4-week period. So, anything's possible. That's the Tour de Meester believes that Bitcoin is going to $600,000. You know how much the altcoins would be? Do you know how much money BlackRock and Fidelity would have made? Do you know how much money MicroStrategy alone would have? I think they currently have, 180 or 190. Let's say 180,000 Bitcoin times 600,000 US dollars. I kind of want to take out my phone and do the calculations, but yeah, that's the optimism Bitcoin to $600,000 by 2026 news. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's move on. Also this is just where we are as a society now news. So remember how everyone was waiting for 10 years for the Bitcoin ETFs to happen, and then over and over we kept on getting a no, and then eventually we heard that apparently behind the scenes Gary Gensler had a change of heart because of the lawsuit, and then he ended up allowing the Bitcoin ETFs to go through, and then I was like, oh, finally the cryptocurrency market can relax. We have exactly what we wanted. And then I heard that was supposed to be a car screeching, but I realized I can't go that high. We actually then started getting tons of news. I'm laughing about my terrible car. We had a lot of news that apparently the next step now was an Ethereum ETF. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe we can have that news for a day or two. And then it kept on reappearing back in the news. Well, guess what, buddy boy? Here we are again. But this time it's a little bit different. Apparently, people are now complaining about Gary Gensler going to give them an ETF because of some type of preferential treatment that I think no one has explicit information about, but this is now the actual major news story that's floating around out there. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and this will never end until we actually get an Ethereum ETF. And as far as we know now, it looks like it could be either March or May. For some reason, those are the dates that we have consistently over and over. Former Ethereum advisor, his name is Steven Narayoff, Narayoff, has leveled serious accusations against Gary Gensler, the current chair of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, suggesting undisclosed involvement with Ethereum amidst the anticipation of the Ethereum Exchange Traded Fund. Narayoff's claims, made public via a statement, have reignited concerns surrounding the regulatory status of Ether, hinting at a potential conflict of interest. There actually isn't any drama going on at all, but people are trying to make this as dramatic as humanly possible. I don't know if people think that we as a market or as a people have to go through some kind of trials and tribulations before we actually get an ETF. I haven't really placed it quite. But yeah, people are pretending that Gary Gensler knows something or might know something or might have some kind of like secret involvement, and therefore he's trying to get an Ether ETF to go through, which might be a conflict of interest or might not something. Nerioff alleges that the increasing speculation surrounding an Ethereum ETF, it becomes evident that the SEC under Gensler's leadership may be more deeply intertwined with ETH than openly acknowledged. This goes back to what people are calling or called ETHgate. Oh boy. Basically, the idea is that in 2020, at the end of the year, there was a lawsuit that was filed against Ripple claiming that XRP was an unregistered security, while Ethereum did not receive that same classification, while Ethereum did have a pre-mine and also had an ICO, which are typically things that would make sure or that have made sure in the past that your coin gets the security label on top of it. So people began to allege that there must have been something going on behind the scenes between Gary Gensler and people from Ethereum. And then we had news that people were like, no, something must have happened. And then we had Charles Hoskinson, once again, in the news because he started calling these people crazy. He was openly calling people within the XRP community, the XRP people who like it. He said that you're absolutely insane. There was nothing going on. That couldn't have been a thing. Why would you make sure to think, stop throwing around these allegations? And then the next day on YouTube or Twitter, it was somewhere online, he was like, okay, well, maybe something's going on. Maybe there must have been some kind of thing that was happening behind the scenes where people were talking to each other. And then he kind of like, not confirmed, but he said like the allegations aren't completely out of line and out of order, which made people go even more insane. So people think that behind the scenes there might have been a discussion or something at some point with the SEC and people from Ethereum to make sure that Ethereum did not receive the security classification despite them having done the things that would have given them and or has already given the security classification to every other coin out there that did the exact same thing, i.e. having an ICO and having a pre-mine, which Ethereum also did. Steven said, with growing speculation around an Ethereum ETF, it's evident that the SEC, led by Gary Gensler, is more involved in ETH than it appears. Gensler's indirect approval for a Prometheus Inc., to designate ETH as a security effectively endorses an ETF covertly. And then there's a photo of Gary Gensler holding an Ether symbol, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying or seeing here. But yes, this was also very big news for whatever reason. I think people just want drama and weirdness within the cryptocurrency space as opposed to just being like, yeah, maybe, because that's what we've been talking about for the last couple of years. This isn't brand new news. This isn't like some kind of weird revelation that people are just figuring out right now. Clearly, something is happening behind the scenes somewhere that the public is simply not privy to, because it wouldn't make any sense otherwise that ETH would have gotten this far without any type of security classification. But the allegations are now that apparently in the next 4 to, I guess, 10, 11, 12 weeks, I don't know, we're probably going to be getting an Ethereum ETF. I hope that we do so we don't continuously have this conversation. No, scratch that, because we're going to continue having it, because part of the problem is that people from XRP are also waiting for an XRP ETF. And that's also just going to kind of become news at some point as well. So, yeah. I hope it doesn't take 10 years. I hope we get one relatively soon so we can stop talking about this. But then the XRP stuff is going to become a thing, and that people are going to start asking to have a Cardano ETF as well, which is probably never going to become a thing. But alas, here we are. That's the Ethereum ETF allegations against Gary Gensler wanting it to be a security so that they can have an ETF news story. Okay. Let's move on. Also this is happening more and more frequently now. Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange in the United States, has announced a new delisting. Coinbase stated in a new tweet that they will be ceasing trading for something called Status, STATUS, SNT is the coin code, on the 23rd of February. Citing a recent review, Status, SNT, is currently listed on Binance, OKX, up a bit in a few other exchanges according to Wu Blockchain. They recently delisted Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's Vision. What was the other delisting? It was Binance. Was it Binance? For Monero and a whole bunch of other coins as well that no one's actually using. The problem is that all these crypto exchanges were trying to add as many coins as humanly possible onto their platforms just to basically make more money. The more coins you have on, the more people are going to be trading. The more people are going to be trading, the more money that the cryptocurrency exchange makes from fees. And now they're starting to drop at least rather a lot of coins. We need about a good 5,000 more coins to leave these cryptocurrency exchanges so we can actually have a focus on the proper coins in the market. But how would you make money then? How would you as a cryptocurrency exchange get all these people to deal in these crappy coins if you don't have them on your platform? That's the Coinbase is going to be delisting Status news. I hope none of you have it because that coin has been garbage for a while. And yeah, let's move on. Also Glen Coco, following the Decentralized Autonomous Organization grant and the protocol's team's testing of other game engines, Decentraland will soon be available on more platforms. This will help to strengthen its future foundations and foster business-oriented ingenuity. Decentraland and what was the other one? Blockverse? Sandbox. Anyway, Sandbox. Was it Sandbox? Decentraland and another cryptocurrency project about 2 years ago were all the talk of the town when the idea of metaverse size was really the it thing within the cryptocurrency space. Over the course of the last 2 years, I'm not really sure why we didn't hear a lot about of these projects or why they kind of went hush hush. They were in the news every now. Sandbox? Sandverse. Oh gosh, whatever. The other one starts with sand. And they had, I think, 3 news stories over the course of the entirety of last year. Was it Gucci or was it Louis Vuitton? One of them had a partnership with Sandbox, and they were going to be building a digital store inside of there or something. One of them had, they had 3 large brands, luxury brands, who announced that they were going to be building inside of Sandbox. I think it's Sandbox, sometime last year. And that's all the news that we've basically gotten about metaverses, completely at all. There's been literally nothing else. And now Decentraland has popped up once again talking about that they're trying to now expand their business. I'm not sure exactly where this news was over the course of the last 2 years. Whoever wrote this article, I don't know what year you're in. It says, as the year 2024 approaches, doesn't make any sense, the primary goal of the Decentralized Foundation is to deliver a new and robust desktop customer designed in Unity. What? Desktop custom? This will increase the possibilities while also paving the way for Decentraland to grow across alternative platforms such as mobile and VR. Decentraland is an open source, decentralized, and community-oriented platform that gives everyone the ability to contribute to the general evolution of the virtual, social, global platform. Securing this ability, the protocol team plans to build a decentralized explorer in complementary tech stacks and offer new growth opportunities. The point is they're trying to expand their business and trying to, I guess, make a bounce back. I guess it's a smart time to do it before the bull run or the crazy bull run ends up taking place. So it was predicted before. Every single company always does this within the cryptocurrency space. Sometimes they won't talk about anything for over the course of 2 years. And then when we see that there's indications that the market is moving back up because of the upcoming bull run and the halving, this is when these companies pop back up again. And this is why you've been hearing about so many more altcoins over the course of the last couple of weeks than you previously were before. It's not anything magical. It's that they simply know that the prices are going to rise again. So now they're announcing that they have upgrades and updates coming to their protocol. Sure, I didn't personally keep up with Decentraland or Sandbox at all. I still have my coins from them, as I own the crypto, but not any like land in these things. I wasn't keeping up with them. The only thing I've mainly kept up with slightly is like Vivi and all their stuff, but I think they also have a metaverse that is supposed to be coming out that hasn't come out yet, and a whole bunch of other things. So we'll probably be hearing more about them over the course of the next couple of months, as everyone, because this is the way that it always happens. Everyone starts talking big stuff when the halving approaches, because they know that it'll raise the price of their projects. That's the Decentraland will soon be available on more platforms such as mobile and VR news. And yeah, let's move on. Also, I thought this was already a thing, but lo and behold, it is not. The XRP community has overwhelmingly supported introducing smart contract-like functionalities on the XRP blockchain, which something called hooks, literally like Captain Hook, is going to facilitate. Recently, someone named Vet, an XRP Ledger ambassador, surveyed the XRP community's stance on introducing smart contract functionalities to XRP Ledger via hooks. Vet conducted the poll via the social media platform Twitter over the weekend. The poll said, "Do you want hooks? Native smart contracts on the XRP Ledger?" Participants were given two options, yay or nay, obviously. At press time, the inquiry has concluded with an overwhelming majority voting affirmation for hooks. The poll apparently had 11,503 people. 93% voted yes, while 6.4% voted no. Why would you vote? I guess people who don't even have XRP were probably voting against it. Like, get a life. Like, go somewhere. Like, go sit in a corner by yourself. What makes you like the stupidest thing in the entire world? There's no one on this planet. No one on this planet who has Bitcoin who would vote against Bitcoin having more functionality. There's no one who actually holds Ether who would be like, I don't really want Ethereum to do more things for people in the future. This leads me to believe that no one holding XRP is going to be like smart contracts, the same thing that other platforms has that has risen their price. Nah. So I assume these 6.4 people had absolutely nothing better to do with their time than to vote no, to try and make sure that this blockchain and this coin that they don't even own doesn't go anywhere. Get a literal life. My gosh. That said, do you want hooks, native smart contracts on the XRP ledger? And 93.6% said yay, with the 6.4 saying no. Apparently, it says technically 10,766 people have endorsed introducing smart contracts on the XRP ledger. Importantly, this substantial endorsement carries significant weight in the broader decision-making process regarding the approval of hooks for the XRP ledger. We were just having, this was maybe a week ago, we had news that apparently a lot of people within the XRP community, within the news, have been quite annoyed that they haven't had more of a say in things that are happening directly on the actual ledger. You got to show some level of decentralization when it comes to all these things. People want to know that their voice counts in a lot of these things. And if people don't have a direct way to be able to vote on top of a ledger for something, usually like the way that it ends up working is like with the weighted vote, like we were talking about before. The problem with the weighted vote is that one XRP is not equal to 500,000 XRP. So people's other votes would be worth a lot more. So being able to like vote on something like this is actually very important. You need stuff like this to be able to keep the community going, to say, hey, the thing that we have on the actual protocol, we did that. Look what we have. Look how high the price is. Look where everything is going. And it's very important for a lot of people. Specifically, someone named Richard Holland, the CTO of the XRP Ledger Labs and lead architect of hooks, recently revealed that the smart contract-based proposal must be integrated into the Ripple code base before it can undergo a vote. He further explained that the team will initiate a new poll request if the community garners 10,000 affirmative votes on a poll for hooks on the mainnet. Cool. Wonderful. Just do it. I don't think many people would have a problem, and I think many more how do you stop it? I think many more people would have voted for this if they knew that this was happening. Like, the only thing that I'm hearing about this was that I'm reading through it from the news. I didn't see this on Twitter, and I'm sure the vast majority of a couple 100,000 other people who actually have XRP also didn't see this news as well. I think this would have gotten far more votes. There should be more things like this all the time. This shouldn't be like a fly-by-night kind of thing where someone named Vet has to talk about this one specific thing. Like, there should be votes like this, like maybe like once a month, once a quarter, like 5 or 6 different proposals should be voted on in some sort of way. I think that'd be really good for the actual protocol, because a lot of times people have really interesting ideas as to what should be on a coin, should be on a blockchain. And it's like something like from left field almost that ends up getting introduced or spoken about, and then it ends up getting put into a protocol and it does really well. I think we need more stuff like that. Does XRP have NFTs yet? I feel like it does, but I don't hear anything about it. Isn't it? Well, okay. How do I say this? Is it possible to also make like ordinals? You know how like Bitcoin has like the things inscribed directly onto a Satoshi? Is it possible to also do that on the XRP ledger? Can people vote that as well? Like, imagine if individual XRPs have actual like pieces of art on them, or fractionalized art, or fractionalized real estate. And then people vote on that, and you literally have hundreds of millions, if not billions of pieces of XRP that people have like ownership of things of. Like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like more things like this need to be voted on, at least from my perspective. Yeah. So let's see what ends up happening with this, and if they end up getting proper smart contracts on the XRP ledger, which I thought was already a thing. I could have sworn XRP already had smart contracts. Or are there like private smart contracts, like things that are only or can be done by institutions or by banks? I don't know. I feel like I need more information on this. Like this coin is in the news all the time, but I feel like I'm not the only one. You also thought that there were smart contracts on XRP already, right? No? Okay. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.